So yesterday I saw a post on LinkedIn, and it was a somewhat snarky post. It was written by someone, doesn't matter who it was, criticizing the fact that the example of Blockbuster is used too frequently when discussing disruption, digital transformation. And I wanted to take a minute and address this. About a year and a half ago, I published a book with my co-author Olivier Blanchard called Building Dragons, Digital Transformation in the Experience Economy. And we actually opened the book up with the example of Blockbuster, and not specifically just Blockbuster, but the differences between Blockbuster and Netflix. And since we wrote that book, I have been on stage probably 50 times or more and have used at least portions of what I learned from studying the differences between Blockbuster and Netflix and its impact on disruption, disruptive innovation, and digital transformation. So when I saw this post saying, hey, we need to move on. If you are using this example, you have no idea what you're talking about, or you are using a stale and old example. And I want to say to that, I call BS. And while I agree in principle that it is important that we are able to use more than one example, because I do believe that this is only one case of disruption, I believe the way people learn is through examples that they can relate very closely with. And in many of the presentations today about disruptive innovation and transformation, we are dealing with an audience that is somewhat diverse, that tends to have a certain age range based upon who's working in the professional world, and there are very few examples that are relatable to a wide audience. Now, many people who are in the workplace today still remember Blockbuster Video. In 10 years, that will change. Hence, probably the reason that more people don't use Kodak, for instance, as one of their primary examples in their decks, although I do see that one often. But I also have realized over the years that people have certain ways they learn best. Now, seeking out and showing your depth of knowledge by using some very abstract or specific examples that you have possibly found that others aren't talking about may be a good way to elaborate your point. But when you're speaking to an audience and you're speaking to a group and you're trying to hammer an idea home, one of the most important things you can do is find common ground. And in order to find common ground, you need to use examples that make sense to everybody. This is why so many ideas and books are timeless, because it'd be easy to say, the 7 habits of highly effective people. Well, they talk about things like empathy. We need to cut that out. We've been using empathy for too long as an example of a leadership trait. We should talk about something else. Well, people understand that. In fact, empathy, the whole idea is seeking first to understand, then to be understood. So much is the same with technology. Much is the same with digital transformation. We've already uncovered the fact that much of the success of digital transformation and being able to survive in the age of disruption comes down to, can we get our culture on board with technological change? Can we bring our customers along and deliver the products and services that they want, the way they want them, where they want them, how they want them, and use technology to get there? All of this is what is going to impact and dictate this future success of most organizations. And when you're talking to an organization, you have to put language out there that they can understand. So yeah, I certainly do believe that you can be the hero that's read more, understands more, and can provide more examples that are unique or specialized about disruption and transformation in any industry. In fact, I recommend it. However, I also think there are common lessons that we continue to learn from history and we should continue to talk about. World War II was a long time ago, but some really bad things happened in World War II. Maybe it's okay that we continue to talk about what happened there in order to learn in the future. From a business sense, when companies like Blockbuster, or Kodak for that matter, or any of the automakers that are struggling with disruption right now, these are big examples that people can relate to. They are historical events that people understand. And frankly, as long as you're building it to a point and you're helping people learn in the long run, I don't have any problem with it. And in fact, if you start using more niche type examples that I don't know about, you may lose me. So don't take everything you read on the internet, and certainly don't listen to every piece of advice you get from people, because oftentimes what you're going to do is, in your search to be more abstract with your examples, or providing more rare and unique examples, you may end up alienating a lot of your audience, because they're going to have no idea what you're talking about. And as a whole, as you're trying to sell transformation inside your organization, remember, it's all about building your organization to be adaptable to change. And one thing I know is the way I consume a movie today is much different than the way I consumed a movie 20 years ago. And I sure love my nights at Blockbuster, but not anymore. It's a great example of disruption. Don't be upset if you still use it. Sure, keep your eye out for new examples and keep talking about what else has changed, better examples, and specifically better examples to the industry that you're being most affected by. But don't let anybody make you feel bad. Keep things simple. There's a reason they say KISS, keep it simple, stupid, because people can relate to simple examples.